Hey guys, this is Matt with Frugal Chicken here, and in this video I am going to show you our quail hutch and tell you a bit about how we built it. So stay with me. Alright, so this is our quail hutch, and it is pretty noisy in here because we have rabbits in here. They're in another coop over there, and we have some chickens on the ground who are looking for some food, but hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So the way we built this is we first used 1x4 pieces of lumber that we purchased. We used a 1/2-inch hardware cloth, which is what I recommend for a project like this, and we used these are 4x4 posts. We bought 8-foot posts, and the reason why is because you can usually, we knew we wanted to be 4 feet tall, and if you purchase 8-foot lumber, it's usually cheaper than buying 2 4-foot pieces of lumber, in my experience. So that's why we purchased the 8 feet. We just cut them in half. You also see for the top, this is salvaged roofing tin, and the reason we use that is because we had a barn that burnt down on the property, but the tin made it through, so we decided to repurpose it for this project. And you can easily source that at any big box store. We found it at like Menards, we found it at Home Depot, so you can easily go ahead and just buy that. If you don't like this material, you can use something else that you like. We like this stuff. We also found we use these roofing nails. We found that it's easy to sort of penetrate with the roofing nails, and like I said, it's in ready supply here, so that's what we used. The thing I do recommend for your hutch is to use 1/2-inch hardware cloth, and the reason I recommend that is because, as you can see, the quail, they don't fly, they don't roost like chickens do, so all the manure can just drop to the ground, like you can see there. We just put them in this greenhouse today because it's getting pretty cold here, and they were looking a little bit cold. So there's not much manure on the ground, but it's easy to keep the coop clean. You can see, we rarely have to clean the coop heavily. One thing that you will notice here is that I've put straw in there, and it seems a little bit counterintuitive to do that if my desire is to not have to clean the coop consistently by using the hardware cloth on the bottom. But like I said, it's getting kind of cold here, and some of them were shivering, so I put straw in there by the door so that I can just easily clean it out, so that they can have a place to sit and be warm as it gets cooler out. So that's basically how we constructed it. So the first thing that we did was we built the skeleton by first, I'll go over here, by first screwing these 1x4s. You can see the screws here. We screwed the 1x4s. These are 1x4, 8-foot long 1x4s. We first screwed them into the posts, and then once every 1x4 was put on the legs here, we then stapled, and in some places we nailed the hardware cloth to wherever it had to go on the coop. The hutch is 8 feet long, and then it is 2 feet wide, and it's 4 feet tall. So these posts here are 4 feet. And the other thing that we did was, you can see in the back there, you can see there's tin in the back. Again, that was a style choice that we picked because we had the tin. We wanted it to have a windbreak because we knew that they would be kept outside for the most part. They are in a greenhouse, but they're still outside. And we wanted them to have some protection from the wind and from the rain. So, but you can see the sides here are all the hardware cloth. We did cut the hardware cloth here in order to fit it around the legs. So that's basically how we built this thing. The other thing that you might notice is, it's kind of messy in there, obviously I need to clean it a bit, but the other thing you notice is that you can see better from up here, we have these beams, support beams. We have 3 support beams that hold the hardware cloth in place, and also to keep it so that the hardware cloth doesn't sag down, so they have a stable place to walk. We put 3 of those in there, and those are just an additional 1x4s. And we put 3 of them, like I said. And the other advantage to them is, you can see right there, I can put the water bottle there, and they can drink, and it doesn't fall all over the place, it doesn't wiggle around, it's just more stable for the water for them to drink. So that's basically what our coop looks like. It took us about 2 hours to assemble. It didn't take very long, and all told, my husband claims he spent $10 on all the parts. I don't think he spent quite that little. I think it was under $50. These 1x4s were pretty cheap, and a lot of this was made of repurposed material. You can use pallets for it If you do want to use a pallet for something like this, I recommend making sure first the pallet is safe. I do have a guide to, you can look at stamps on the pallet and see if the pallet is safe or not to use. But they like it. They've lived well in it. We haven't had any deaths in it. And as you know, poultry, they can die kind of easily sometimes. But they've been able to stay warm in it, and they seem to enjoy it. So that's our coop. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. One thing that I should mention about quail is they, unlike chickens, they can get surprised kind of easily, and when they get surprised, they shoot straight up. So one thing you might have noticed about the Quail Hutch is that it's kind of short, and the reason for that is because, like I said, the quail, if they get surprised or startled, they will shoot straight up, and they can, if they hit something, if they get enough momentum and they hit the top of a coop or something, they can easily break their necks. So with a shorter coop, they have less of a chance of doing that. So that's why I recommend, it being about the coop itself being, about 2 feet tall. If that doesn't work for you, if you want it to be taller, you can always make it taller. But the taller it is, the more of a chance you run of them shooting straight up and breaking their necks if they become startled. And like I said, a quail gets startled quite easily. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel at thefrugalchicken.com/YouTube. And I will see you next time.